You guys all, you're good? Ready? We are going to call this regular meeting of the Martin County School Board to order. We will now have Reverend Christian Anderson from St. Mary's Episcopal Church say an opening prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't see him either. We will have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Falls, will you please call the roll? Well, it's okay. If you'd like to come forward, you can.
Maybe my own. All right. Well, friends, let's pray. So, Father in heaven, we thank you for the gift of education and that you want us to grow better and be better and to grow more deeply into the creation you've given us, these holy temples and these holy minds. I pray over this school board and for this whole community that we use it wisely and properly, and we give it away generously, and we work hard, this great responsibility to step into the world of education, and as leaders and as teachers and administrators, come, Lord, and just bless it all and help us to be humble in our walk. And we know true leadership is true servanthood. And so help us to lift up these young minds so they can say yes to the call you've placed upon their heart, to be the best they can be to serve this great world that's in need of goodness and love. Amen.
Thank you. Ms. Falls, will you please call the roll?
Mr. DiTerlizzi?
Here.
Mrs. Roberts?
Here.
Mrs. Powers?
Here.
Mrs. Pritchett?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the following items added? 7.03, 13.02, 15.13, items updated 9.01, 9.02, 18.07, and items removed 3.08 and 4.04.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those
Powers.
in favor?
Sorry.
Okay, Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? I have a motion by Ms. Pritchett and a second
Second.
by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Do I have any board member discussion this evening? Seeing none, we will move on to the Sunshine State Scholar Program recognition. Ms. Borges, would you like to come forward?
And Superintendent Maine. My name is Jennifer Borges, and I'm the Coordinator of Science. I am honored to present our Martin County representatives for the annual Sunshine State Scholar Program. The Sunshine State Scholar Program allows each school district throughout Florida to select its top 11th grade student in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM. These scholars, along with their parents, convene to receive recognition for their achievements. They also have opportunities to meet with representatives from Florida's colleges and universities, learn about STEM-related programs of study, and experience why Florida is the best state to learn and pursue an exciting career in STEM disciplines. It is my immense pleasure to announce this year's representative and alternate. The 2024 Martin County Sunshine State Scholar Representative from South Fork High School is Rachel Penenga.
All right. Get pictures.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on your achievement. Yes, you can. Yeah, get close. Get closer.
Can Amy and Jennifer just split just a little bit? Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations.
The 2024 Martin County Sunshine State Scholar Alternate from Jensen Beach High School is Kara LaFleur. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us here this evening because she has flag football. It's her second to last season. She didn't want to miss out. So thank you for celebrating both of our amazing STEM students.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have Ms. Griffin from the Florida School Board Association come forward.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I am here representing the Florida School Boards Association to officially recognize you as a certified master board. This recognition is a testament to your leadership team's collaboration and dedication to the students in Martin County. Completing master board training reflects your unwavering dedication to this district and your students. The attainment of master board status signifies a strong commitment to the principles of effective school board governance, transparency, accountability, and the pursuit of excellence in education. The journey does not stop here. I'm confident that you will continue to foster a culture of continuous improvement, collaboration, and success. Remember to always stay focused on the students. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. We are thankful to be a part of the Florida School Board Association. All right. Moving on to our district presentation, Mr. Cowles, would you like to come forward?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Main, and our amazing Martin County community. You know you have a special guest with you when about 70% of the room buzzes right past you to give this person a hug. I guess no offense taken, but we'll move forward from there. We're well aware that child trafficking is a global issue, and because of that, it's impacted us both locally and within our state. And we also know that part of eradicating these predators, and make no mistake about it, they are predators. Part of that, what we can do in our community and through our educational system is raise awareness and provide education to our adults and our students. We are so very fortunate that we have such a passionate advocate in Lynn Barletta, who is not only known locally but nationally as an expert in child trafficking. She's been asked to present hundreds of times across the state, and again, like I said, nationally. She works tirelessly to solve this issue, not only in our community but abroad. And we are excited about our upcoming partnership with Lynn and Visual School of the Arts and the Florida Faith Alliance, and she's here today with some members of her board and her husband, Tony. Those of you that know Lynn know that she has passion and energy beyond what a lot of us could even imagine. I also see it in Anytime Fitness over in Palm City, and I do have to tell you, when I see her working out, I avoid going by her because she puts me to shame. And it's embarrassing. She says she's older than me, but I don't think so, not by the way she's working out there. So we have a brief presentation that we'd like to share today, and Lynn's going to get a little bit further into the details as we announce our partnership. It's kind of like a Super Bowl ad. We're going to do the trailer today, so please welcome Lynn Barletta.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Good afternoon, Superintendent Main, Board Chair Russell, and board members. We are taking a multi-tiered approach to bring full awareness and an equipping program to Martin County schools. And this will include live presentations to principals and 3 videos that we have completed, production being through Visionary School of Arts, content provided by Florida Faith Alliance. These are 2 separate organizations that are collaborating on this project. And so we are very excited also to include a full written curriculum for all the teachers. And we can go to that next slide. Since the pandemic, I want you to know that child trafficking is the fastest growing crime in the entire world. And America is the biggest buyer of sex. All children are now at risk, and Florida ranks number 3 in the nation in hotline calls behind California and Texas. The majority of calls are now for sex trafficking. Sexting and sextortion are the fastest growing gateways to child trafficking and also suicide. It is in every school, according to Homeland Security. Traffickers are networked county to county, and hotline calls have come in from every county in Florida. People in our community are starting to rise up, they're starting to get involved, and they're starting to say, not on my watch. We can go to that next slide. Never before has it been more important to equip teachers and also students themselves concerning the dangers, the methods, and the specific approaches of traffickers. Teachers are positioned more than anyone else on a daily basis to spot the signs and to get help for children. But it takes an informed person to know what to look for because victims often don't self-identify. They don't even know they're actually being trafficked. We simply have to do more to equip our teachers and our students and give them the tools that they need. We can go to the next one. 80% of all prosecutions now involve online recruitment. So we show the social media websites, the gaming, most often used, the virtual reality dangers, researched pornography statistics. These are all gateways to trafficking. Adults and students are being groomed and baited by experts constantly, but we can give the students and the teachers the tools that they need to resist these approaches. Our secular awareness training also includes recognizing the signs of a home being used. So I gave one awareness training, actually Don Connolly was there, at a church here in Stewart, and this was prior to the pandemic. A woman came forward and said, I believe I'm living across the street from a home being used for trafficking, but I didn't know until you told me the signs. So I was able to text our liaison at the Sheriff's Department. They went and busted that home right here in Stewart. That home was connected to Lake Worth, and that home was connected to Indiantown. Hundreds of users were involved. 3 men were arrested, and women and children were rescued. One awareness, and lives were saved. It's important to know, you can go to the last slide, that videos for students are starring our own local students in the videos. And these are families who are deeply involved and want this information to get out. And it includes also Austin Connolly over there, who is your board representative, your student board rep, and all 4 of the Connolly children. So the teacher video includes a survivor who appears in the video who was overlooked at school. And she is talking to the teachers about the signs that they can look for. And so now we have the video trailer to show you from the middle school and high school level. And I want to thank you in advance for allowing us to come in, for inviting us in, and for caring about the children and to save lives here in Martin County. So we're going to show you Don't Take the Bait.
This awareness video is to educate you. We want you to be equipped, and above all, don't take the bait.
Hi, my name is Hannah Connolly. I am a graduate from Martin County High School and founder of the first Human Trafficking Awareness Club at my school. I am here to equip you and give you the tools needed to be protected from predators and traffickers. It is so important to know that all children and teens are at risk. And for your sake and the sake of your friends, this may save a life. Did you know that the average age of girls victimized in trafficking is between 12 and 14 years old? And for a boy, it is 11. Florida is the #3 state in the nation for reported cases of human trafficking. So who is the trafficker? It could be a boyfriend, a gang, an online friend, a neighbor, or even a family member. If you have full access to social media, that means that social media has full access to you. YouTube and many other apps can be used to look through your phone, into your home, and contact you. Dating apps are a large platform that traffickers tend to use. 150,000 brand new escort ads are posted online every day. Children are bought and sold through these dating apps constantly. These are the top games that traffickers use. A trafficker will take up to 2 years to convince a child that they are the same age and want to be a friend. Sexting while still a minor is illegal. The reason it's illegal is that these images may be intercepted by or distributed to someone other than who it was originally sent to, compromising the privacy and safety of the original sender. Someone could begin threatening you that if you don't send more graphic pictures of yourself and your body, then they will expose you at school, to your family, and all over social media. Sexting and sextortion is the fastest growing gateway to trafficking.
Sexting and sextortion doesn't just happen locally in our communities. These crimes can extend not only to other counties, but also other states.
But just remember this, don't take the bait.
What would it take to bait you? If you have a dream, they're gonna promise to make it happen. Maybe you wanna hear, I'm proud of you. Maybe you'd like someone to say, you're beautiful. The predator will promise to take you wherever you wanna go. So the important thing is, don't take the bait.
The important thing to remember is don't take the bait.
Hey, if someone wants to show you porn, don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait.
Thank you so much. I'd like to see if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Barletta. We appreciate your advocacy for the safety of our students.
And don't go anywhere just yet. So just real quick, it's also important, though, this is free of charge. She's doing all of this. It's not costing the district 1 cent. Like she said, she's using local students, student athletes to help spread this message. And Lynn, I couldn't be more proud of the efforts that you've done. And as long as Tony doesn't get mad, I'm going to make it about 71%.
Thank you.
And I thank you for everything you're doing. And I know working together, we will eradicate these predators from our
Yes,
area.
we will. Not on our watch, right?
That's right.
Thank you.
All right, now we will have our district update with Jennifer DeShazo.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Main. It's my pleasure to bring you this month's school district update. The Martin County School District's class of, wait for it, 2037 is ready to blast off into kindergarten. Earlier this month, each district-operated elementary school hosted our annual initial orientation events for rising kindergartners and their families. Families were able to tour their soon-to-be elementary school and meet with teachers, administrators, and learn more about success in elementary school. Let's take a look at how this cohort is preparing to blast off into kindergarten.
2, 1.
Welcome to Hope Sound Elementary School's Kindergarten Blast-Off event.
Martin County School District's kindergarten orientation was out of this world.
She's so excited. She's ready to go now, which is shocking.
On February 7th, rising kindergartners and their families visited their home-zoned elementary school. They got a glimpse of what life is like as a kindergartner in our district.
It's really nice because for one, we get to meet all the teachers, not just her teacher, and see multiple classrooms, see the cafeteria, see where we can walk in, and see how excited she is. So it's not just like right before school starts and we're thrown into it. So it's kind of like easing into it, which is nice.
Parents learned how to prepare their child for the first day of school.
The next thing is just knowing their name.
The different programs available and the school culture.
I feel like the teachers truly care about them as individuals, and it's kind of not just like, it feels more individualized than I thought it would.
The students had a blast as well. Backpacks, books, t-shirts, and toys. The class of 2037 is ready to
Martin County School District students truly dominated this year's, Math Counts Treasure Coast Regional Competition. Students from all 5 of our middle schools were represented as they competed against mathletes from St. Lucie, Okeechobee, and Highland counties. Our students took home an astonishing 7 out of the top 10 awards, as well as the #1 overall award and the #1 Speed Math Award. Hidden Oaks Middle School took home the top team overall award and placed first in the Speed Math competition. Stewart Middle School placed second in the Speed Math competition. Top individuals in the competition included Michael Avila of Hidden Oaks Middle School, first place, Matthew Jarrell of Stewart Middle School, second place, Dante Char of Murray Middle School, third place, Lorelei McKenzie, Hidden Oaks Middle School, fourth place, Morgan Ray, Hidden Oaks Middle School, seventh place, Sophia Chen, Anderson Middle School, 8th place, and Roy Crum of Murray Middle School, 10th place. Let's give a round of applause to our amazing MCSD math. Families of current 8th grade students will be able to learn more about the Martin County School District's 3 comprehensive high schools and the different programs they offer during our upcoming freshman preview events. With school choice, students can attend any MCSD high school with the program they wish to enroll in, such as their International Baccalaureate program, which is offered at South Fork High School, Cambridge ACE, which is offered comprehensively at Martin County High School, and the AP Capstone Academy, which is offered at Jensen Beach High School, as well as our numerous career and technical education programs. The signature program choice window will open on March 1st for families who wish to have their child attend a high school other than their home zone school. Students who elect to attend a signature program offered at a school other than the one they would be zoned to attend based on their address must have their own transportation to and from school.
We hope to see all members of our class of 2028 and their families at these upcoming events. As part of our commitment to continuous reflection, evaluation, and improvement, we launched our annual satisfaction and engagement surveys today. These surveys provide students, teachers, and parents with an opportunity to give comprehensive feedback on their level of satisfaction and engagement related to school and district culture, programs, outreach efforts, initiatives, and resources. For the second year, we've partnered with the University of Chicago's Consortium on School Research, using evidence-based essential questions that will inform our ongoing efforts to deliver an exceptional educational experience to all students. These surveys will gather data related to 5 indicators that are proven to predict important student outcomes, including improved attendance and test score gains. Research has demonstrated that schools that were strong on at least 3 of these 5 indicators were 10 times more likely to improve their student learning gains in math and reading. Parents, caregivers, teachers, and students enrolled in grades 4 through 12 are encouraged to complete the surveys during our administration window, which will run through March 22nd. This will help us inform and develop our district improvement goals. Feedback submitted is entirely confidential, and we encourage parents who have students enrolled in more than one school to complete a survey. The QR code is on the screen, it's also on our website, and we will be sharing a link directly with families via text message, email, and also on social media. The Martin County School District is proud to be ranked as the #7 best school district in Florida, according to Niche, a market leader in connecting prospective families with college and school options that match their interests and goals for their children, provides access to 140 million reviews, ratings, and powerful search tools. It's our mission to provide the best educational experience for our students and set them up for success. And it's worth noting that the Martin County School District was the only area district to be ranked among the top 10. Niche rankings are based on rigorous analysis of key statistics with factors including state test scores, college readiness, graduation rates, teacher quality, public school district ratings, and more. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. All local families who are not currently enrolled in the Martin County School District are being invited to discover the world-class educational experience we provide during our controlled open enrollment application window, which begins next month. As the school board has and will continue to discuss this evening, many of our schools will be open to residents of Martin and our surrounding counties next school year as part of Florida's required controlled open enrollment process, which permits families to take full ownership of their child's learning and enroll in schools in the state that have not reached defined capacity. Let's take a brief look at what choosing a legacy of excellence means for local families.
Engaging and tailored learning experiences, dedicated educators, and a focus on the individual success of every student. Endless educational opportunities await your child in the Martin County School District. Don't miss the chance to enroll your child in our high-performing school district. Controlled open enrollment applications for Martin County residents and residents of surrounding counties will be accepted beginning March 1st. Discover a world-class education in our elementary and middle schools. These schools are available as part of Florida's controlled open enrollment process, with the potential for additional sites to be added following the February 20th school board meeting. The Martin County School District offers an exceptional, rigorous, and supportive learning experience to all students, is widely recognized for its advancements in school safety, and is committed to preparing every child for a prosperous future. Choose a legacy of excellence. Choose the Martin County School District. Choice enrollment applications for the 2024-2025 school year will be accepted beginning March 1st.
Students accepted into the Martin County School District via this process must have their own mode of transportation to and from school, but it's important for families to remember that if their application is approved through the controlled open enrollment process, they can continue attending their chosen school through the highest grade level offered on the campus. Applications will be accepted March 1st through the 31st, and full details are available on our website. And before I call our next group up, I just wanted to share a little bit of feedback that we received from someone outside of our local community today that recently attended a community event, and I think it speaks to a lot of the work that our students and our schools are putting in every day to ensure that we have a welcoming and positive culture. A parent wrote into us and said, "Good evening, my son is a huge fan of Matilda and wanted to see Matilda the musical live. I did a Google search for Matilda near me, and the results showed that South Fork High School in Stuart, Florida's drama club was putting on a show. I booked it immediately, and when the day came, I drove my son from Broward County to see the show, and I'm so happy that I did. When we arrived, the staff were very polite. We were thanked for attending and seated. My son was excited and eager, and he expressed to the staff, the drama teacher, that he was a huge fan of Matilda. She took a moment to talk with him, and it filled him with glee. But that's not it. During the show, the incredible actor that played Mr. Wormhole called on him during the intermission. After the show, the entire cast and crew loved on my son with kind words, pictures, autographs, dancing, a personal tour of the production room, and parting gifts in the form of props. Unbeknownst to many of the cast and crew, my son's father passed away last Tuesday. It is a rough time for him, and their selfless acts of kindness mean more than they'll ever know. The students are truly a class act. Not only are they talented, they were so kind, professional, and gracious toward my son. They didn't have to share their amazing talents with him, but they gave him much more. He left exclaiming that night that today was the best day ever. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the South Fork High School Drama Department. You make your parents, staff, and district proud. I'm tremendously thankful. Signed, Broward County family." Having a little bit of a technical glitch on the screen. I apologize. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Miller and a few special guests to join me to speak about the fruit of a collaborative partnership between the district, the Martin County Board of County Commissioners, Parks and Recs Department, and the McNicholas Family Foundation related to the athletic fields at Hidden Oaks Middle. Dr. Miller?
Thank you. I realize that Valentine's Day was last week, but we have yet another story of what loving your community, loving collaboration, and loving sports can turn into here in Martin County. So it's my pleasure to share with you a little bit about what's been happening and transpiring to assist the students here in Martin County. I'm a little ahead of myself here in the video, so let me just back up.
Engaging and tailored learning experiences dedicated.
No worries. No worries, thank you. So the Hidden Oaks baseball fields were entered into a joint agreement with the county and the Martin County School District many years ago. And the fields were primarily unused for a period of time. And in late July of this past year, Tom McNicholas approached both the county and the school district with an idea to rebuild this facility, primarily using funds from his own family foundation. District Commissioner Ed Campy and school board member Mike DiTerlizzi fully supported this plan, and it has come to fruition with great results. So we'd like to share with you a little bit about what has transpired through the video. As you can see, before and after montage that has been provided for us, all that has been done over the past 5 months to make this dream become a reality. The concession stand building that was previously abandoned has been completely remodeled, while the old bleachers were removed and new ones added. You'll see bird's eye views that show what the fields used to look like and what they look like today. All the new turf was added to create classic infields. Brand new water fountains have been added, new doors, new toilet fixtures, as well as new floors and new windows now where there was nothing but plywood. We have new clay, new grass. We have taller fences that were added in some parts of the outfield, as well as state-of-the-art scoreboards. in July 2023, this was just an idea, just a dream, something brought to us for the betterment of our students, of our community, of our athletes, and a place for our students to call home for baseball. You can see it's turned into a gorgeous location, one that's going to be used for years to come, and it was a pure joy for us to watch this come together. This evening, we have Mr. Tom McNicholas here from the McNicholas Family Foundation. We also have Kevin Kerwin from the County Parks and Recreation Department. And these have been our partners over the past several months to be able to really take this dream, this passion for supporting sports, some of the kids who you see here before you, the families you see here before you tonight, to really make these old abandoned ball fields really become something that this community, the Martin County School District, and all of us can be proud of. So I'd like to introduce Tom and Kevin to you.
Thank you, board members, Madam Chair, good to see you, and School Superintendent Main and other staff. I do want to give a lot of credit to this because we just had an idea which felt a little like a dare, but I do want to toss it back to Commissioner or School Board Member DiCilisi, who had a lot to do with this from the beginning.
Thank you, Tom. You may not know, but Tom was originally a newscaster, and I guess he felt public relations was probably a better place for him. But it was a springboard for him. I've known Tom about 25 years now, and he actually had bangs when I met him. I mean, not many men have bangs, but his hairline's receding quite a bit, as is mine, Tom. But thank you very much for what you do, Tom. Mr. McNicholas and his team, and he has a team, not only a ball team, but that he works with, and players from all over the country. He has notably been known as being solely responsible for the return of Major League Sports spring training here in the state of Florida, working with the governor's office, several governors, and the legislature, being able to locate teams all over Florida, and it's been great. Not only it's been great for the economy of Florida in general in those localities, but for the students that are here today and that will benefit from the amazing generosity of the McNicholas Foundation and the people involved. And I'll let Tom say a little bit more about the folks that were involved. But when I first went out, when they broke ground on the ball fields at Hidden Oaks, which were pretty much destroyed from lack of use or non-use and overgrowth, and he actually has brought students in. I'll allow him to elaborate on that. The students not only play ball there, but they help maintain the facilities. And you'll see something that will give these youngsters the ability to look into their futures and say, hey, number one, taking care of what you're using. Number two, who knows, they may find a career in turf management or something like that, which are some pretty great fields. But Tom, I personally want to thank you for everything you did, for being inclusive of the county, and obviously not being able to do it without the county's finances, but with your own foundation finances. We appreciate it greatly. And for the youth here, we say thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for that, Michael. I usually do this for a living, but this is a little unexpected. Didn't want to be here tonight, but Tracy Miller insisted on this. So there's a lot of people to thank. This started as a dare from Marty Stern, by the way. Marty Stern, the gentleman to my left in the gray attractive suit that he's wearing tonight, is a fantastic youth coach here in town, as many that are others are here tonight. But Marty, nobody may know this, but about a third of that team that went to Williamsport in the Little League World Series were all his kids that he trained. So Marty knows a lot about baseball. This started as kind of a dare, and he said, we ought to fix up those fields. And after I thought about it for a month, I said, yeah, I guess I know how to do that from what we did for Major League Baseball. So this all started about July 25th, and on August 1st, we met with Ryan Ellis, who's to my left, who's the founder of Florida Baseball Club. One thing we learned from Major League Baseball is you can't do the infrastructure without a program. If you don't have a program, so what we wanted you to see today was the program in front of you. So you've got dozens of little leaguers that this is advanced already in the first couple months on the field. You've got about 72 players in all, 22 of them from Florida Baseball Club, and another 48 from minor league teams from Martin County North. But it's really evident that the coach is behind us. But first of all, I want to introduce Kevin Kerwin from the county. This couldn't have been done without Kevin Kerwin, Ed Campy, and also Kevin Abate from the county. And of course, Tracy Miller. I've never met anybody at a school district like Tracy Miller. She is not a no person. She's a yes person, and let's figure out how to get it done. She's incredible. Talking to her on Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, when she's with her kids in New York, problem solving and figure out solutions. So we're here actually to thank you for letting us take this opportunity to do this. We do want to show a couple more things. I want to let Kevin chime in here on all the help that the county's done with this. This has been truly a private-public partnership between the school district, our foundation, and the county, and we want to thank you for that. Kevin?
Thank you, Tom. And I did not get a start in broadcasting, but I think I still have my bangs. So Kevin Kerwin, I'm the Deputy Director of your Martin County Park and Recreation Department. I want to thank you, your board, and our board, who, when I left, they were still meeting right down the street, and our administration, our director. But I really got to thank, and Tom started off by thanking the superintendent, Dr. Miller. You've been fantastic on this and other things that we're doing together, plus your staff. I see some of them over there. Thank you, everybody. Our folks, I got to give a shout out. I don't know if they're watching. Jim Lopalato, our administrator, Sean Brady and Mike Spedavecchia, our superintendents, fantastic people. I also just really got to reiterate again, when Tom called us and said, let's do this, I was like, outstanding. I'm a Palm City guy, so I hear thanks from my niece who goes to Hidden Oaks, and she's bragging about it, so thank you. Also, I want to thank the players who are out there every night, and then also their parents who bring them out every night and are enjoying the fields. Thank you.
So a couple quick last things. I know you want to get on with your meeting, but I want to point out a couple coaches who are here. It's perfect that the Bartlettis are here. I really did not want to follow you guys, never want to follow Lynn on any presentation. So that's why I figured we better show up with a bunch of little kids in jerseys. But Tony Bartletti is one of the best, greatest coaches, human beings on the planet. So it's really cool that you're here tonight. He does a lot with FBC Florida, and as well as the Coquinda family, the Stern family, the Sullivan family, the Norman family, the Ellis family, the Hebb family. Couldn't have done it without him as great cheerleaders. And on your own staff, you've got Don over here, who's being quiet in the corner. He is so instrumental with Little League Baseball in this county. It's fantastic. A great, great individual as well. And DJ Cortez to my right, and James, who's on his staff as well. So if you look over your shoulder, we meant this as a slideshow, but it's a static presentation. We're not done yet. So Tracy's already given us permission for all these upgrades. We hope it's good by you. So what you're looking at on your screen right now is the upper left corner is phase 1, the project that's already been completed to this point. And then on phase 2 is the slide to the right of that. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I'm going to wing this. What that phase 2 includes is a maintenance shed. It includes bullpens, and it includes 150 trees from the ranch, Calusa Creek, that they've donated those trees to this facility. Those are important because it allows the fields to be buffered from 714 now, nor do we want a lot of baseballs flying out on 714. So our goal is to actually turn this into a park-like setting. And what it also allows is future games and tournaments to be brought to this facility with the bullpens. And in the third slide, you'll see batting cages. So we're hoping to have those next 2 phases, phases 2 and 3, done within the next 3 months. Any questions? Yeah. Kelly, I got to ask you, they brought up Matilda earlier. Is this the same show that Xander, one of our players, is in? No, not it's a different Matilda? We got so excited. We were like, he's in the same show. Here's what I love about Florida Baseball Club and the programming. A lot of these kids are involved in the community in other ways, and we have them playing other sports. They've got GPA levels that they have to follow, and many of them, as we move forward, are going to be doing maintenance on the field for their community service. So thank you, and not to further delay, but we would love if the kids could get a picture of you guys. You can stand back there if you'd like, but if you could get up there as Tracy
Absolutely.
and Michael as well, that would be fantastic.
Thank you.
Players, go on up there on the hop. Marty, Ryan, come on. Yeah, cool.
He said so. Okay.
Oh, you got a good team sponsor there, above and beyond.
Yeah.
Sounds a great guy. Thank you. Tom, thank you. Congratulations, guys.
Have fun, guys. Have fun. Tom, I just want to say thank you for personally investing in the children of Martin County. We really appreciate it. All right, next up, we have our student representative, Austin Connolly.
Thank you. I'm going to start with Jensen Beach High School. JBHS Jazz Band earned straight superiors at the FBA District 13 Jazz MPA on February 7th at Sebastian River High School. The band program also had 22 students participate in the IRSC 4-County Honor Band Festival at IRSC in Fort Pierce from January 16th to 20th. They were selected for a variety of jazz and concert ensembles and worked with local and national clinics and ensembles comprised of students from schools in Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee counties. 23 Falcon Band students participated in solo or ensemble performances in the FBA District 13 Solo and Ensemble Festival on February the 2nd and February the 3rd at Treasure Coast High School. Of the 23 students, each earned one of the top 2 possible ratings, superior or excellent, at the festival, with 21 earning superior ratings. With these ratings, several students are now qualified for the State Solo and Ensembles Festival, which will take place in March at the Alexander Dreyfus School of the Arts in West Palm Beach. Congrats to our outstanding Falcon Band. Members of the JBHS Key Club have been supporting the Education Foundation of Martin County's Book Bonanza events at local elementary schools by providing volunteers. Key Club recognizes the importance of literacy and appreciates the EFMC's effort to instill a love of reading in our students. We are looking forward to continuing to support them as they visit other district schools. MCHS. Martin County High School is looking forward to welcoming all 8th grade families for our freshman showcase on February the 21st, beginning at 5:30 p.m. Students and families will have the opportunity to learn more about the wonderful academic, extracurricular, and athletic programs on our campus. MCHS is a school choice opportunity to all students residing in Martin County. Interested families should submit their signature program choice application next month. Senior Nira Goyle has been selected as the NHS Scholarship semifinalist for the National Honor Society Scholarship, thanks to the impact she has made through scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Congrats, Nira. Mike Warren, dedicated automotive teacher, has been named the 2024 CTE Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Mr. Warren, and thank you for all of your hard work. SFHS. SGA has been busy since getting back from winter break. Students have been working hard on getting the Bulldog Closet organized and running smoothly. The store is regularly bringing in over $100 on Thrifty Thursdays, and we are busy working on the application/criteria for the student scholarship that the store will fund. The Bulldog boys claimed the district title in varsity basketball. This is the first district title since 2015. Congrats, Bulldogs. Coach Brian Flynn was recognized as the FACA District 19 Class 6A Coach of the Year. SFHS is excited to welcome the class of 2028. Incoming freshmen will be able to tour the campus, browse our student activities booth, and meet our admissions team. SFHS is a school choice opportunity to all students residing in Martin County. Interested families should submit their signature program choice application next month. The school looks forward to seeing prospective Bulldogs and their families on February 29th. A huge congratulations to Stanley Blount, South Fork High School CTE Teacher of the Year. We are so incredibly proud of the work he does with students and the impact he makes on their lives. Stanley is the quintessential Bulldog who embodies the grit, determination, and success that defines Bulldog Nation.
Thank you, Austin. Mr. Main, would you please share your superintendent's update?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I begin my superintendent's update, I would like to recognize and welcome our newest assistant principal, Mrs. Marjorie Archer, who will be joining us at Indiantown Middle School. Marjorie is joining us from Broward County, having served as an assistant principal for the last 8 years, and prior to being an assistant principal was an instructional facilitator. She's joined this evening by Miss Melora, principal, Indiantown Middle School, and we appreciate them both being here. So without further ado, please welcome Marjorie to the team. Thank you. I'm extremely proud to report that the Martin County School District has successfully completed our first 2 phases of our 6-year reaccreditation cycle. All education institutions that engage in accreditation process with Cognia participate in 3 main phases to include self-assessment, engagement, and progress. Initial noteworthy practices identified by Cognia evaluators that came out in these initial 2 phases encompasses a positive and encouraging environment for both students and teachers, and students recognizing the emphasis on successful future after high school for our students. The next steps for our accreditation process entail a final report with an index of education quality score, and if the district successfully meets the requirements, confirmation from the Cognia Global Commission during its next quarterly meeting. Phase 3 begins in fall of 2024, which will initiate the 6-year accreditation cycle and requires the district leadership team to provide ongoing progress monitoring reports during the reaccreditation process. We celebrate our success and remain dedicated to strengthening areas of achievement while focusing on opportunities for improvement in this process. So thank you to the board and for all of our staff members that are a part of that process. Halftime professional midpoint learning. Educators across the Martin County School District actively immerse themselves in professional development during this year's Halftime Professional Learning Day at Martin County High School on February 12th. More than 90 choice sessions were offered by our professional learning department for halftime this year, featuring instructional strategies from the Martin County School District's instructional playbook. Educators received the playbook along with a backpack silk screened by our students at Jensen Beach High School. And educators started the day off on the right foot with a healthy breakfast and coffee provided by the Guggen Coffee Shop. And Stewart and Martin County Chamber of Commerce sponsored various food trucks and while promoting collaboration and maximizing efficiency so that our staff did not have to leave for lunch. So we appreciate that. Our professional learning department does an absolute fantastic job, and I want to thank Heather Platt and her entire professional learning team for putting on a fantastic day for all of our teachers. It is also important to note, while this day is not a required day for our teachers, it was the day after Super Bowl, and we had over 1,000 educators to show up, showing their true dedication to doing what is best for their professional learning needs and for our students of the district. So I thank our educators. Town Hall Series. The Martin County School District will host our second session of our Town Hall Series on Tuesday, February 27th at 5:30. This next Town Hall Series will be hosted at Fowey Elementary School, Felix Williams Elementary. Prior to the event on the 27th, we're asking that our community members fill out maybe some pre-questions on the survey that is posted on our website about topics and questions that you would like to see covered during our next Town Hall session. We are committing to the community that this next town hall session will be a true town hall format where you will ask a question, we'll have a microphone, and staff will answer your question directly on the spot, making sure that we are dedicating ourselves to true transparency within the district and the community. At this time, Madam Chair, this concludes the Superintendent's update.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board for any of the other information-only reports? Ms. Roberts?
Mr. Morrison, I know I'd asked before about the minutes from the Oversight Committee. They might have been lost in my inbox, but if you can get those to us, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any others? Okay, seeing none. We will move on to board member information share. Does anyone have anything to share today? All right. Seeing none, we'll move forward with public comment. I know it's not quite time for public comment, but we can go ahead and get started, and then if anyone comes after, they can join us at the end. Citizen input is vital to the improvement of our district. Most times, your remarks may be listened to without comment from the board members or superintendent. This does not mean they are heard with any less intensity or concern. Where appropriate, the superintendent and staff will investigate your comments and report back to you and the board with an answer. We thank you for taking the time and having the concern to make our district better. Your presentation to the board should not exceed 3 minutes. Letters or statements from others not present can be given to our clerk, who will be sure that each school board member and the superintendent receive a copy. To keep our records straight and authentic, our policy does not permit you to read the statements of others into the record. First up, Beth Smith.
Good afternoon. I really want to first applaud our teachers for the work that they have done to provide excellent opportunities for our students. And they're doing that without a contract. You've met 11 times and still nothing has been done, 0. I think it's time you start doing this. It's a domino effect. When you don't have a contract, I'm wondering if you're looking at union busting to break the union. Understand that every state has a clearinghouse, so when teachers graduate and they're looking to move to a district or an area, they're going to call and they'll say, what about Martin County? What about Broward County? And that clearinghouse, which is based with the teachers union, will tell them what's going on in that district. So right now you've got 23 teachers that you haven't employed and 21 SLPs. So this is only going to make it worse without having a contract. We had a booth at the county fair, and your booth was right next to ours. You're so worried about teachers, but there wasn't anybody manning the booth the majority of the time. So why was that? Also, your SLPs, the last meeting you said that there were some students that were not receiving services yet, and you were looking at having compensatory services at another time, that after school or the summer or what. You realize that this could be a violation of FAPE, of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which is 504, because under that law, every student is entitled to a free and appropriate education, public education. And that means if they need services for anything, that's something that should be provided. So I'm concerned that you might be in violation, but it's only going to get worse the longer you don't settle with the union. Thank you.
Thank you. Victoria Duffenthaler.
Good evening. My name is Victoria Duffenthaler. I'm a retired Martin County educator and a former school board member. So what do you know? Last week, Florida's governor tried to deflect the turmoil he and his minions have caused around book banning by stating he's calling on the legislature to make necessary adjustments to prevent abuses in the objection process and ensure that districts aren't overwhelmed by frivolous challenges. Just like the law signed by the governor last year, which imposes criminal penalties on teachers who share books deemed unsuitable for students, he's looking to penalize educators for the problem he and his political cohorts have created. The Florida Department of Education is in the process of developing a rule entitled Principles of Professional Conduct for Education Professionals. The development will expand the grounds for disciplinary action against school principals to address classroom practices that can harm students, such as denying students access to classroom materials, including classroom library materials, for reasons unrelated to the educational needs of a student. Since the governor has received bad press around the book banning issue, he wants the public to know that it was through no fault of his own that books with educational value have been banned. I see it as yet another way to use educators as scapegoats, blaming them, in this case principals, for the book banning chaos created by the governor and his legislators. Again, this rule is sure to be vague, unclear, and will once again create fear, confusion, and target educators for the problems created by politicians. Educators need someone standing in their corner for them to ensure their time and talent is protected, allowing them to focus on student achievement. As school board members, you continually state that you are just following the law. However, I have not once heard you say that you are working to support the employees under your purview or doing what is best for students by communicating the undue burden and harm these laws and rules are placing on your staff, and therefore negatively impacting the education of the students you are charged to protect. Before you lose additional staff due to the undue stress and confusion caused by such rules, I strongly suggest you advocate and protect educators by contacting the State Board of Education on their behalf. On another note, I'd like to congratulate Grace Lynn for her involvement in the Oscar-nominated short documentary, The ABCs of Book Banning. I am proud to know Grace Lynn and want to extend my heartfelt thanks to her for serving as a strong activist in her quest to shed light on and educate others about the threat book banning can have on our democracy. Thank you, Grace Lynn, for working to highlight the fact that our freedom to read is protected by the First Amendment and for helping people understand this is an essential right and duty of our democracy. I encourage everyone to take the time to view this documentary, which is streaming on Paramount+. Many thanks to Grace Lynn and all who contributed to this film for letting the world know that there have been a group of Martin County activists who have been challenging book bans. Thank you.
Thank you. Fran Reinberger. What was her name? Fran Reinberger.
Good afternoon, Superintendent Main, Madam Chair, and school board members. Last year, Martin County School District received national attention for book banning. It was an embarrassment to many of us that a few people were able to cause such chaos. When that happened, people spoke up and attended school board meetings as they realized that a couple of people should not be making the decisions for everyone's children. One person that spoke up was Grace Lynn. Her words, "Fear is not freedom, fear is not liberty, fear is control," resonated around the country. Her appearance at our school board meeting went viral. Grace, along with some students and adults in Martin County, as well as some other children from around our state, participated in a short documentary called The ABCs of Book Banning. It is truly heartwarming to hear from the mouths of kids what they thought about this situation. The documentary can be viewed on Paramount+. Here is some more exciting news. The ABCs of Book Banning is one of 5 short documentaries up for an Oscar this year. Grace just got back from a trip to LA where she attended the Oscar luncheon and was interviewed by many journalists. At 101 years old, she no doubt made quite an impression. She met some banned book authors and even met some celebrities. She will return to LA for the Oscar ceremony in March. A special congratulations to our hometown hero, Grace Lynn, and all the others who participated. Grace Lynn is inspirational. Remember, each one of us in our own way can make a difference for those around us.
Thank you. Eunice Bussum.
Seems they picked a good night to come since we're talking about sports. I'm not here to talk about baseball, which good for them. That's great. But I am glad to hear that there's support already for maintaining what is already in use in Martin County. So on that note, good afternoon, Dr. Main and the school board members. My name is Eunice Bussum, and I'm here today to advocate for keeping Martin County High School pool open. In April of 2021, my family and I arrived in Florida, COVID weary, and just looking to get back to some normalcy. For us, that was competitive swimming. I have 4 swimmers, and literally the day after we arrived in Hutchinson Island and checked into our month-long rental, we went to Martin County High School for swim practice. I had been in touch from Connecticut with Coach Lang, and I can still picture him sitting on that center block in front of that center lane as we walked into the pool for the first time in early April. Since that day, we've been to that pool regularly, year-round, 6 times a week for practice. My kids have made their closest friends there. I've made my closest new friends there because of the long hours spent together at practices and swim meets. I've watched my kids train there for 3 years now and watched them achieve swimming goals and times I myself didn't think would ever happen. I've watched passionate and dedicated coaches pour into my kids every day and make even hard practices enjoyable. My kids don't ever want to skip practice. That pool has served my family well, and I know I speak for many other families who have had similar experiences. Even in the few years I've been here, Martin County has experienced an influx of new residents, many of whom have come for the same reasons, trying to get back to life with the passions their kids enjoy. Why would we eliminate one of the few decent-sized pools in the county? There is a year-round swim club that has 5 different squads there that uses the pool every day. There are master swimmers there putting in the work early in the mornings to stay healthy in their later years. There's a high school swim team that uses that pool during the swim season, and it is the only Martin County high school with a pool on campus. Swimming is one of the few lifelong sports, and with our growing community, it seems extremely short-sighted to eliminate a decent pool that needs some repairs. What would be put in its place, and how much would that project cost? I'm guessing more than the cost of pool repairs. The other local pools are already maxed out, so eliminating the high school pool will probably cause some swimmers to just quit. Just what we need, more screen-watching inactive kids, right? That pool is in such a great location too, and with the right management, it could be used for even more. We need more places for organized sports in this community, not less, as we just heard about the baseball, especially considering the growth in Martin County. Once it's gone, rebuilding it will be much harder and more expensive than fixing what's already there. I'm asking the powers that be here today to seriously reconsider the plans for that space and continue to invest in the physical and mental health benefits an amazing sport like swimming reaps. Please don't take away our pool. Thank you.
Thank you. Amy Martin.
Good afternoon. I am here, my name is Amy Martin. I'm here basically for the same reason Ms. Bussum was just up here for, is to basically say, you know, let's keep this pool. I was here recently with the workshop, and I'm back again because I have a very invested interest in this pool, largely due to the fact that I was one of the original swimmers to it. And again, I have a legacy behind it. My father was the actual first swimming coach there and has had some very successful programs come out of there. They're continuing to do so. This pool has been there since 1978. The Kiwanis Club donated it to the campus for the community to continue to bring one of the most vital sports and activities to our area. Back in the day, this pool, basically we had physical education. We had a class that was for swimming. We had a Learn to Swim program that sufficed for all the community because there was no other pool in the town. We had different sports. We had water polo, diving. We had an actual second story dive. Recreation, basically it was the only pool in town that had the ability to serve the whole community at $1. You could come in, swim all day, and have a great time. These are things that can come back to that pool if we give it the chance that it needs. I feel like the money that is out there costing so much for it needs to be brought in to give the pool the chance it needs. We're willing to go and fix up the golf course out at South Fork. We're willing to upgrade baseball fields. Why not bring back the pool? The pool is there. It's a safe place for these kids. It's a vital sport to our community. Sailfish does not have the room. Our community is only going to grow. I ask this out of basic desperation. We are here trying to save this pool for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Robert Ward.
Good evening. Thank you again for having me. I first appeared here, I guess, 2 or 3 months ago, and I want to remind everybody when I spoke then, I conveyed to you all that I believe in transparency. I'm the husband of an employee. I'm the father of an employee. My grandmother, 87 years old, volunteers at an elementary school here several times a week. I'm fully vested. Both of my children, well, 2 of my children graduated from Martin County schools. And very early on, you learn about character counts. And as you know, there are 6 pillars in the character counts. And the very first one is trustworthy. When you look up the definition on your phone for trustworthy, the New Oxford American Dictionary says, able to be relied upon as honest or truthful. And I say this because I want to speak to you directly, Mr. Main. The last 4 minutes of last month's board meeting, you felt compelled to stand up or speak your mind that.
We do not direct our comments to anyone in particular on this board.
Perfect.
Or
Okay,
Mr. Main.
understood. I stand corrected. Mr. Main directed to the audience and made sure 3 times he said he wanted to put it on public record how competitive Martin County is when it comes to wages. And in fact, he said it's competitive with St. Lucie County, Okeechobee County, and Indian River County. Now, I'd like to take a brief minute and educate you guys. Because when you go onto the Board of Education's website, Florida Department of Education, it's very easy to print it out. It clearly tells you the median income for a teacher in Okeechobee County is $48,800 with an average of 11.2 years of service. St. Lucie County median income is $49,860. Average median service is 10.8 years. The average income for a teacher in Indian River County is $54,556. Now, the ironic thing is they average 8.4 years of service. Martin County is $48,100 with an average of 12.1 years of service. So you're greatly underpaying your teachers. And I want to remind you, and I find this in private enterprise all the time, a competitive wage is not a living wage. You're merely stating you're competing against the other district for employees. If you would pay your employees, there would be no competition. The fact of the matter is, if you factored in the extra 4 years of experience in Indian River County, the teachers in Martin County, if they got paid the wages in Indian River County, they'd be averaging about $8,600 more per year than they average now. Now, the ironic thing, if you go onto the Census Bureau and look at their comparisons, we line up pretty equivalent with Martin County. So I encourage you to please look at it again, pay your teachers, put it to bed, put them to work. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment, and now we will move on to our action-only items. Item number 18.01, school board travel. There is none at this time. Item number 18.02, budget amendment to fund items outside of Stewart Middle School Phase 2 GMP. Are there any questions from the board?
Move approval of 18.02.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.03, student driver invitation to bid, number 1002-2023-2024. Are there any questions from the board? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Pritchett and a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.04, ratification of AFSCME tentative agreements for 23-24 school year. Are there any questions from the board?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Roberts and a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.05, acceptance of the annual comprehensive financial report for 22-23. Are there any questions from the board?
I move approval of 18.05. Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.06, acceptance of internal accounts audit report for 22-23. Are there any questions from the board?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts.
So can you get us a copy, or can you give us some detail on that internal funds procedures manual? I noticed that there were quite a few audit notes about changes that need to be made, and your cover sheet said that those changes were going to be made. So that's comment number 1. Comment number 2 is there's quite a few things on here in the audit notes that say again, and all those again comments mean that they were noted from a prior audit. So if we could get some detail on how those things are being handled so that we don't get an audit next year that says another again, because I think that's,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. The internal accounts manual has been updated. We actually reviewed it with some of the school site bookkeepers just to make sure that the changes that we're making are increasing efficiency. For example, there were some forms that we were able to collapse into one instead of having 3, 4 different forms. In the area, for example, of printing receipts from Skyward as an official receipt of the Martin County School Board, things of that nature. So that has happened. We're just going through final review with the internal accounts audit support person right now, just to make sure everything is, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. With respect to the repeat audit findings, some of those have been addressed by the changes that we've made in the internal accounts audit manual. However, because the audit took place prior to the changes taking place, then yes, you would have had repeat findings. In addition, we have had some turnover at some of our schools with respect to some of our bookkeepers. So some of those items that were cited by the auditors were as a result of personnel changing hands, etc. What we will do from here, once the board has accepted the audit report, is to require our schools to produce a corrective action plan in order to not have that audit finding repeat for the following year. So when we get to this year's audit that's coming up for 23-24, then the manual that the auditors will be referring to will be the updated manual, plus we would have had training ongoing for our bookkeepers.
so my concern is, I know that we do a corrective action plan for audit findings, but it concerns me when you see again that whatever the corrective action was, I'm not sure was actually implemented, taken care of, if they, again, have the same finding. You know, if you ding me on not giving the appropriate receipt, and then I give you a corrective audit action plan that says I will now give you the correct receipt each time, but then I get hit again for the same thing.
Yes, what we do is that we have a grid that we produced from the actual audit report, and we identify the hot spots, so to speak, whether it's in areas of receipting or bank deposits or things of that nature, and then we tailor our training to those specific areas. Again, we did have some turnover, and that caused some of the audit findings to repeat, but we are, again, addressing the issue, so we do not have any audit findings coming up in the next year. We hope to see a reduction in those once we have the updated manual and the training done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Are there any questions from anyone else?
Move approval of 18.06.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.07, controlled open enrollment. Are there any questions from the board?
I move approval of 18.07.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.08, requisitions to be approved for purchase orders over 100,000. Are there any questions from the board? Do I have a motion?
Move approval of 18.08, sorry.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.09, approval to award RFP number 5001-2023-2024, E-rate core switch refresh. Are there any questions from the board?
Move approval of 18.09.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18.10, request approval to piggyback St. Lucie Public Schools, invitation to bid number 23-11, painting contractor services. Are there any questions from the board?
Move approval of 18.10.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers and a second by Ms. Pritchett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 19.01, public hearing for comment on science instructional materials recommended for adoption. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on the textbook adoption for science instructional materials? Seeing none, we will move on to open with the board. Yes, go ahead, Mr.
So I have a question. I thought that the 30-day window started last month. So, but this is saying that the 30-day window will be open from March 21 to April 22.
Good evening, School Board, Madam Chair, and Mr. Main. That is correct. This is the 30-day window we just finished up now. The next meeting in March will be, this board has the ability to approve the list of materials that have been recommended. There is no further 30-day window after that.
So this sentence in here, the required 30-day window for public objection will be open from March 21 to April 22?
That is incorrect information.
Thank you.
Open to the board. Mr. DiTerlizzi, do you have anything?
Not right at the moment, thinking about it.
Ms. Roberts?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Bridget? Ms. Powers?
No, I just wanted to ask Dr. Estevez if we are out of compliance. That's concerning, and I would like to give you the opportunity to address that.
Sure, thank you. I'm going to actually have Mrs. Almestica Sanchez give you the most up-to-date numbers that we have for how many SLPs we currently have, how many are employees versus how many are contracted. And to explain to you more about when we are in a place where we provide compensatory services.
You hear me?
Sorry. In a place when we are providing compensatory services, what that means and how many students right now we are providing compensatory services for, okay?
Okay.
Sanchez.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Main. At this time, we have 8 employee SLPs. That is not including our manager. We have 9 contracted SLPs that are full-time and 13 part-time SLPs. We are monitoring how many students are receiving services. There are some students that have gone a few weeks without services. For example, Southwark High School was without its SLP for about a month. So we have to provide comp services for that month, but we do have 2 SLPs that are starting this week. So we projected that their services will be made up by the end of the school year. Would you like to know specific schools and locations that are missing?
No, I don't need to know the specifics. I just want to make sure that, what caused that? Why did students miss a month?
We had an SLP and they just resigned at the end of December. The one that was at Southwark at that time was a contracted SLP, and they just moved to another location, so they were no longer with us. We were able to secure another SLP through today's board meeting, and also another one from another company that we already had. And we have our manager that's going to meet with them to train them, give them orientation, because we have different students with different needs at that school. We also had a lack of service at the beginning of the school year at J.D. Parker, but we already had an SLP, so we've been able to start making up those times. And what constitutes compensatory services, there has to be data to suggest how much loss the student has. So it's not just a minute-by-minute count, but how much would that service have impacted the students' progression towards their goal. And so monitoring just how we're doing as a state, we're struggling as a state with SLPs and nationwide. So if anyone out there wants to be, especially our high school students, I encourage you to become an SLP for our students here in the community. But we are monitoring our students. We are obviously not in a perfect space where we would like to be, but we are at a place right now that we will be able to make those services up by the end of the school year. And when I mean that fiscal year, it might be some of our students that go to extended school year that would have that by June 30th.
So, and that's an acceptable practice to make it up when you miss because an employee quits or whatever, that's acceptable practice?
Yes, under IDEA, it specifies that if a student does not receive a service, it could be for any reason. It could be because of an absence of a provider. It can be because they didn't service every single day as they needed. There's different factors that we look at. But if they did miss their services, that is called compensatory services. The IEP team determines how much services they would need to make that up at this time. Because we don't have an abundant amount of students, we're able to make up at this point minute to minute of anything we've missed. We want to make sure that our students are getting all the services that they're entitled to.
Thank you. Mrs. Powers, may I also add that in the situation where compensatory services are needed, that the parents are also involved. So the parents know how many days or minutes that their child has missed, and we sit down at the IEP team meeting with them to make sure that they are well and fully aware that we would make it up. And most of the times we can get it done, as Mrs. Sanchez said, before the end of the fiscal year. And sometimes even our manager, she will provide additional services to help with the catching up part of it. But it has been a bit of a revolving door. And we also have 7 SLPAs, which are the assistants. We started out with maybe 2, I believe, and now we're up to 7 to try to help because they can give those direct services. So wherever we can gather and grab people, that's what Mrs. Sanchez and the ESC department has been doing. So to stay in compliance with IDEA, we have to provide the compensatory piece.
And I'm so sorry, in true transparency also, obviously this is not ideal. We would love to have everyone employed and have everyone ready, but there are other districts nationwide. I mean, we meet and discuss during conferences where they're offering telehealth services for students. At this time, Martin County School District, in terms of the team, does not feel that that's the best method to reach our students. So we're doing everything we can to really recruit, and whether it's employees or contracted SOPs, to have direct services live, because that does make a difference for our students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Roberts? So are we still doing the, I'm sorry. Are we still doing the public hearing, or have you closed the public hearing for?
We closed that.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear, I'm sorry, I missed that announcement. I didn't know where we were.
Okay. Mr. Maine?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to directly give some data, some factual data to some of the public comments that we received this evening. First and foremost, the booth at the county fair was manned and rotated by staff from the HR department and the district team. There are multiple photographs and pictures throughout the district of staff that were maintaining that table. Now, I'm not going to say that there are times throughout that period where it was unmanned, but we have to make sure that we have enough staff that were able to get there over the weekend to provide, coverage at the table. So there probably were times where it was not manned. However, our HR team, I'm looking at several of them that were there, as well as Dr. Miller was there and several of her team members to man the table at the fair. We currently have 25 teacher openings in the district currently right now. 7 of those vacancies, or the teachers, are being processed by the HR team. We have I want to make it known that the board has offered a $5,000 supplement to our SLPs, and that was put on the table at the last bargaining. We are waiting to hear back from the union, so that is currently in the union's court, and we are waiting to hear back on that $5,000 supplement and whether they are going to accept. As we know, contract negotiations with MCEA are a back and forth process between the district and the board and MCEA. It is not something that happens quickly, and our bargaining team did put an offer on the table, and we are currently waiting to hear back from MCEA on their counter offer. Currently right now, to Mrs. Sanchez's point, we have 3 SLP vacancies, not 9. And I would also, to the gentleman who left the room, there are various factors that go into those salary numbers that are reported by the DOE. I do not have time to get into the weeds. of those numbers, but I will say that in full transparency and being truthful, I stand behind my team 110%. We have data to suggest and support, and I cannot wait for the day where sometime soon where we will be able to share those numbers where we are competitive with our Treasure Coast districts in this community, and in many cases exceed the salary levels within ranges of those. I would not go on the record to suggest otherwise if I did not have the data through our staff to support that, because that is who I am as a superintendent. So I wanted to clear some of those things up. I also would like to celebrate during the time up here at the dais. I received a text message from Ms. Lana Barros that we received an email from the Florida Department of Education that our workforce development capitalization incentive grant was approved in the amount of $1,075,700 for all of our CTE programs. That was something that was much anticipated, so I'm very proud of the work that our district staff is doing, and that money to go directly to impact our students in the Martin County School District. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. If there's no other questions from the board, this meeting is adjourned.